This morning, Stereophonics have released their 13th studio album, which is called Make 'Em Laugh, Make 'Em Cry, Make 'Em Wait. And I'm very excited to say that we have got Kelly Jones of Stereophonics with us this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Morning, I'm very well, mate. How are you? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, it's been a bit, haven't it?
Yeah.
You're looking well.
As are you, sir.
You're getting taller by the day.
You've got that Paul Rudd thing where every time I see you, you seem to be,
Paul Rudd,
you look
yeah.
exactly the same.
My missus fancies Paul Rudd, so that's a good thing.
Oh, really? There we go.
And my boy's, he's got all the Ant-Men things now, so she can pull his head on and off when she feels like it. So, I don't know what that means.
Well, yeah.
If that's a euphemism, I'm not sure.
You can take the mask off with the mask on, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway, we won't go there.
Bit late, we've been.
Yeah, we've been, and we'll come back again.
All right.
In a weird way.
Well, thank you for getting out of bed nice and early this morning. I know it's a busy day today. So the new album's out. It's the 13th album. How does that come about? So it's album number 13.
Yeah.
Because you don't hang about. Do you go, right, we're doing a new album, is it a team decision, or do the other band members look at you and go, Kelly, have a day off, mate?
It just kind of falls into place, really. Like last year I did like a little solo record, and then Far From Saints was the year before that. So we didn't do anything since 2022, I think it was, each year, which was just after the pandemic. You know, it's like you go on the road, you write a few songs before you know it, there's a bunch of them, you come home, what are we going to do? I don't know, should we record them? And that's pretty much how it's been for the last 30 years. That's kind of the routine, really.
Well, it's a very successful formula.
It is.
Yeah.
It's worked well.
Did they ignore your calls for a bit? They're like, I know what this is going to be. He's going to want it. He's written some songs.
He's done his writing again.
Yeah.
We're going to be in.
They're all right. I think they're happy to get out of their hometown, to be honest.
Well, it's beautiful. So I've listened to it a couple of times this morning, and I absolutely love it. We've played a couple of tracks off the album already. Do you know what I like about it as well? We were saying this earlier.
Yeah.
8 tracks,
Yeah.
half an hour long.
Right.
Because so often I hear an album where I go, this album is great.
Yeah.
It's 15 minutes too long because I don't know why, whether it's the record label or the band think we need to do more.
It's true. It's like, I mean, when we did Uchier after the pandemic, we did put a bunch more on there than we normally would, probably because the world stopped for a while and we just had loads of stuff. We just thought, we'll just come back with a celebration and just chuck loads of stuff on it. But, you know, in hindsight, you look at it and you go, it's like, as you say, it's 15 minutes. People haven't got the time.
Yeah.
And when I did do that solo record last year and I did 8 songs, I learned quite a lot from just having, especially on a vinyl, you go 4-side. Well, I used to listen to Black Sabbath and Zeppelin records. There's 7 songs in them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about kind of making it as precise and compact as you can, I think, because people just want to put it on when it gets to the end. Hopefully they want to put it on again. But if they just linger on and on and on, I can't be doing all that. Not an album 30. I haven't got enough to ruin the set list for anymore.
That's true. That's true. 13 albums. Do you think like that when you're structuring a set list? Do you go, oh, we haven't done a track from this album. We need to do more from that. You have to we need to do a bit from every album, right?
Well, we weren't going to do a new album. I was asked by Universal to possibly do a second greatest hits thing because the last one was in 2008 and there's been a load of songs since 2008. So I wrote 2 songs. I wrote Make It On Your Own and There's Always Going to Be Something. I thought was done. And then they said, well, maybe you should be a studio record. These songs are really good. And then it just continued, and so it ended up becoming a studio record. But the initial plan, thinking back, actually, it wasn't intended.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, it's great. It's out now. It literally came out today, so you can, however you consume albums this day and age, it's available right now. Now, your voice sounds fantastic on it.
Oh, thank you.
You're one of the lucky singers, I always think, because there are some singers whose voice lends itself to, it doesn't get worse as they get a bit older. So I think some people it really suits you look like Johnny Cash or Rod Stewart or Willie Nelson. Yeah. And then some people, Bob Dylan, the older they get, the more it sounds like they're being strangled.
Like Tom Waits.
Tom Waits.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, Weller's voice has got richer and warmer as well. I don't know what it is, really. I guess... I think when you do, for me personally anyway, on our first few records, it was just all about volume and trying to take the back wall of the venue off. And everything's on 11. And then you find different parts of your voice by different kind of styles of writing songs. And then you go, I didn't realise I could do that kind of vibe of it. And then you just incorporate it all into the records and they become a bit of a compilation as it goes along. So you've got different ways of doing it, you know.
That's a good point, actually. I think about that from your first album. Because now, there must have been a point where you must have felt a little bit more isolated. You're going, we're not really drowning my voice out with the big drums and guitar anymore, so people are really hearing me sing.
But when you're a kid and you're in a bar, you don't want people to leave the bar. So you're just kind of trying to be as big as you can. And the three of us, the way Stu would play drums, Richard hit all the strings on a bass. And just, the volume of what the band was trying to put across was quite powerful. So And that's just because you didn't want anybody to leave the pub.
That makes sense, though. That's true. And then I guess you earn the respect of your audience. They're going to go with you no matter what you do.
You do a Nirvana cover, you slip one of your own, and then you do a Jam cover, then you slip one of your own. And then you try to keep them in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like this radio station, really.
It's great. It's pretty much it.
True.
Pretty much it. One for them, one for us. That's what I like to think on this show. I do one link that I find funny, and then one that nobody finds funny.
At least you got it home.
Exactly.
It's all about balance, actually.
It really is.
It's nice to balance it out.
Forgive me, because I've only heard the album a couple of times. It's the song with October in the title. I've forgotten it.
Colours of October.
Which is, now that's beautiful, but that really is, that's your voice in the spotlight there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved all the old soul stuff like Benny King and Bill Withers and all that kind of stuff. So when you write songs like that, it kind of lends itself to those old classic kind of string arrangements and stuff. With Fiona Bryce does those with me. She does a lot of stuff with Elbow and Placebo and bands like that. But yeah, I know, I've always been brought up. My old man was listening to soul stuff. My brothers were listening to Dylan and Neil Young and classic, rock and roll and stuff like that. So I was always surrounded by a lot of older people listening to music, and I was the little kid in the pub, really, just trying to pick up all the information as much as I could.
Yeah, well, it's great. I love that song. First time I heard it, I thought this is absolutely beautiful. Now, because I'm not a doctor, but a mutual friend of ours, Ben, directed the documentary about, I'm going to say, your throat thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben
which thankfully you fully recovered from.
I spoke to Ben this morning.
Oh, did you? Oh, I love Ben. He's a lovely, lovely chap. Have you noticed any difference? Because in the documentary, obviously you cure it, but have you noticed any difference at all?
It's better since then, weirdly, because I actually put the work in to do the rehab and all that. I never had singing lessons or anything as a kid. In fact, I did my first gig like I was 12 in a band. There was other kids in the band that were singing, and I kept getting pushed forward to be the singer because my old man was a singer. I never wanted to be the singer. I was happy to just be in the back with the guitar. And as years went on, I became more and more in the front of all these different bands I was in as a kid. But I never really took it that seriously. And then I think I'd been listening to some Chris Cornell records, and one day I just went for this Temple of the Dog song, and I thought, what's that? I was thinking about it. I thought, all right, I'll be the singer.
Yeah.
So I went forward. But when Ben was doing that doc, he was just filming me for something else. And he overheard me talking to one of the guys in the management. And he said, what did you just say? What you been going through? I said, oh, no, it's nothing. I don't want to make all that in the film. And he goes, have you got footage about all that stuff then? I said, yeah, I had to, because I had to send it to this guy who was giving me vocal exercises. So I had all this stuff, and he was like, oh, I'll have that. And then he made the whole film about that recovery process.
So what was the original diagnosis for that?
How did it come about? It was called a one-off trauma polyp on my vocal cords.
Right. Great name for a heavy metal band.
I was about to say trauma polyps also.
Which was weird, because he said, this is probably not from singing.
Right.
And I had a recall where I went to the gym one day, and I had a really crap day, and I left my keys in the house, and I let out a massive in the car, right? Yeah. One of them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what did it. He
really?
said, blokes get it in the football.
Right, okay.
In the football and stuff like that, yeah. But as a singer, you can leave it, but then it starts affecting you.
Right.
Or they cut you off. So the one person I thought I know who I can talk to, but this is Tom Jones.
Yes.
So I called Tom Jones, and
that's a nice option to have whenever I'm going through stuff.
Yeah.
So I called Tom.
Hi Tom, trauma polyp. Have you got 5 minutes?
And he said, oh, don't talk to me about those. He said just before I made that song Kiss, he said I was struggling with my range, and I went to see the doctor. He said he had a look. He said he was like a mountain ranger. He had polyps all over it. So he said, just make sure they use a knife, not a laser.
Oh.
I said, what do you mean? He said, because Julie Andrews had a laser, and when they used the laser, after the heat contraction, the vocal cords separate, and she never was able to sing properly again.
Oh, really?
So with a knife, they sliced it off. So I went out in to see the surgeon. I said, are you using a knife or a laser? He goes, no, using a knife. So I said to Tom, it's all right, he's using a knife. He goes, all right. He said, you go ahead with it.
That's amazing.
That's so good. I love that. Yes, Kelly Jones is with us. The new Stereophonics album, Make 'Em Laugh, Make 'Em Cry, Make 'Em Wait, is out right now. By the way, I love this time of year because it means we're entering summer, which also means gig and festival season, which is the best time of year. Oasis, are you going?
We've got a few clashes. I'm trying to find a window of time. I spoke to Noel just before we went to the States, and because I found some old pictures of us rehearsing in the studio back in the day, and we were having a laugh for those, and I think he was recording some new stuff. But we play Finsbury Park when they play Principality, and when we play the Principality, I think they're Wembley. So,
okay.
So I'm going to try to get to one of them, but I'm not sure which one yet. Yeah.
Fair enough. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, there's so many gigs and festivals coming up. UK dates, Stereophonics. You're doing Neighbourhood Weekender, but you're also doing Belfast, Dublin, Cork, Huddersfield, Isle of Wight, Glasgow, London, Cardiff twice, and Norfolk as well between May and August. So if you're going to see Stereophonics, you're in for an absolute treat. And I'm inviting myself to the Finsbury Park one, if that's okay.
Good man. Hey, it's 4th of July.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Anybody's allowed to come on 4th of July.
That's quite right too.
Yeah,
exactly.
I need to talk to you about piggybacks.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
So Dominic Byrne, you've met.
I have met him.
You may remember back in the day, this was in LA.
I do.
You'd finished, I think we were on the radio because late night LA time was breakfast show this time.
Yeah.
So I think you just done a gig.
Yeah.
You came, you might have had a few beers, I don't know.
Oh, was this when Grohl was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I gave you we were playing football, I think, and the ball got stuck in the ceiling.
That's
and I
right.
had to give you a piggyback to get
That's
it back.
right.
Do you remember that?
I do remember walking up I think we played like the Henry Fonda Theatre or something. I got dropped off to come and see Moylesy, and I walked in and Dave Grohl was there, and I'm like, hello. And then Chris came out, and then the next thing I remember is I was on somebody's shoulders going up through some ceiling tiles trying to find something.
Yeah, that was me.
Is that you?
Yeah. Well, I think we were having a kickabout, as you do.
Yeah.
As you do after a gig.
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m.
Dave Grohl's in goal.
Yeah, Dave Grohl's in goal.
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, yeah.
We kicked the ball, disappeared in the ceiling, and you very kindly, you agreed
I was
to my...
probably the smallest. I'm a coal miner's grandson, so if there's any small crevice you want me to get into.
And then you grabbed the ball, and we had a lovely kickabout. It was great.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We started with Ant-Man's helmet, and we're finishing with any small crevice. So it's been a hell of a 45 minutes.
I do like a good piggyback.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, have you ever given anyone famous a piggyback? Because we're wondering if this is a circle.
I have.
Have you?
There's a picture online of me giving Noel a piggyback.
Oh, now this is...
You should find that picture.
Yeah.
It was the opening of the Marquee Club. And we were inside drinking cans of Carlsberg, or Carlin, actually, I think. He was cheaper than Carlsberg. And I said, jump on my back and I'll take you out. And he's on my shoulders coming out with a can in his hand.
Great.
John Lennon skinhead. But it is a cracking picture.
So now, because we're trying to work out where... So next time we have Noel on Radio X, we need to ask him who he's given a piggyback and see where, hopefully, we can end up at, like, Nelson Mandela.
It was when...
That would be, that would be incredible.
It was when they opened the Marquee. I remember, I think Primal Scream were playing that night or something.
Right.
But it is on there somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Bobby Gillespie doesn't strike me as a piggybacker.
I wouldn't have said so.
No, I don't. Maybe
I've just Googled into Bing. I use Bing.
Yeah.
Kelly Jones, Noel Gallagher, piggyback. I've got nothing coming up
Don't put
here.
piggyback.
That's because you use Bing.
Oh, yeah, true.
Put Marquee.
Oh, Marquee, that's better, isn't it? And then see if the piggyback comes up.
See if that comes up.
All right. I'll get back.
Yeah, we'll get back.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll find it.
That's Bing. Oh, no, hang on.
There we go.
Is that you?
Hey, that's me with long hair, look.
Oh, yes.
Look at that. If only you could see it at home.
We'll post this.
This would be a great on telly.
Oh,
Yeah.
you drink a big can of Carling in your hand there. That's lovely.
I do finally get him up full length as well. I'm kind of half bent over there.
Oh, here we go. It's on the screen. So now there's even more people that can't see at home, but at least I can.
Oh, that's better.
See?
Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Lovely.
Hey, it looks like a great night.
It was a good night.
Oh, we're live on Global Player, by the way. So now if you're at home on the app, you can also see a picture of Kelly giving Noel Gallagher a piggyback.
Perfect.
So we need to find out who Noel's given a piggyback to and see where this leads. But it all comes back to Dominic Byrne, as things often do.
Yes, sadly.
Is this a new thing you started?
It's
Just started now.
4 minutes ago. Absolutely. Let's see where it ends.
But actually, I gave you a piggyback at our boss's wedding.
You
There you
did?
go.
Absolutely.
We've gone backwards now.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the 7 degrees of piggyback. Yeah.
What we want to say, Kelly, is thanks very much for coming.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah.
And best of luck with the new album.
Talk to you about piggyback.
That time has arrived. Goodbye.
Kelly Jones, always a pleasure, never a chore. The new Stereophonics album is out now. Make 'em laugh, make 'em cry, make 'em wait. I've listened to it a couple of times already. It is stunningly good, so enjoy listening to that over the weekend. Kelly, please come back and see us anytime.
Thank you very much, gents. Appreciate it.
Radio X. The Chris Moyles Show.